Hello, people. Here is saying a big welcome to my friend, my brother, Augustine Christopher or Chair. On Facebook, you will only see Augustine Christopher, but we are insiders, so we know more than the Facebook name. So I want to welcome you to this platform. I've been having so much shiver since the last time we talked, and I just know that there's so much that is going to come out today, and I hope that like a lot of people will be joining us to, join this conversation and to hear from your experience. And one important disclaimer I want to make is that everybody is an expert in their experience, and we are not generalizing experiences. But all of these individuals that I interview, I do that because no one person has like a monopoly of what the seminary is, of what the experience is. But if we can harness or gather all of these different experiences, we are better placed to give our brothers who are either thinking about going to the seminary or who are in the seminary or who are out of the seminary, we give them more tools with which to like evaluate what their life is, what their decisions are. And I think that's more helpful than having one trajectory of narrative. So Augustine Christopher is here to blow our minds away. So I ask you, what's your name, where you from, and any other thing you want us to know about you?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Fortune, for having me here. My name in full is, as you have said, Augustine Oche Christopher Mary. Uh, this is the first time I'm going to ever refer to myself out loud as an ex-seminarian. I've never done that. I just realized I was thinking about that this morning. I've never. And it's a weird feeling. So yes, oh my God, I'm an ex-seminarian. That's interesting. Of the Shonshat Fathers community, Ijokodo Ibadan. Yes, I got into the seminary in 2013, and by God's grace, I was in that journey for at least 8 years. Yeah, so that's one part. An essential part of my identity also is that I love music. I'm a musician to the core. I play the piano, I play the guitar, I sing. It's important. And I love Jesus. I love Jesus. Um, yeah.
All right, that's cool. I'm gonna be asking you lots of things that I know. I just put it in the comment that you and I are classmates. We spent time in Schoenstatt from the beginning until I think you left a couple months or up to a year after I left. So, but if I ask you questions that I know, that's because I want the audience to get to know you, not because I want to just bore you. Okay. So,
Mhm.
you wanted to share, and then you said the theme of this conversation for you would be iceberg. And I was wondering, why do you choose that theme? Why is that important to you?
Well, the team Iceberg literally jumped at my face when I finally considered to come on this platform because I realized there iceberg is simply an analogy. It's like a pictorial description of an ice on the water is what you see, but obviously what is underneath is way more, is so much more than what you see above. And I've realized that it's rather unfortunate that in the context of our Nigerian society, a lot of people see what is above the water and they don't make any conscious effort to look underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like and even if they wanted to, there is no platform to show them these things. It's only when you enter that you see. I mean, you are either shocked. I guarantee you'll be shocked. But a lot of people don't know this, so they have this cartoonish idea about what the seminary life is and priesthood afterwards. And I'm like, no, it's an iceberg. There's a whole lot you don't know. And it's important that we create a platform that people can know this. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Whole lot people don't know, and it's important that we create this platform. And thank you for choosing to share this. This is not easy. It's not easy to just come live and show your face and become like tell your story. It's not easy. But one thing I think is that our stories are not just ours. We have a level of shared interconnectedness with the creation, with the world, with everyone, so that when we share our stories, we kind of allow other people to have access to what has been our journey. And in that way, we can support them. We can that becomes a way for them too to have a better journey in their own path. So yeah, thank you. What were your experiences in the seminary before I get to living experiences after you left? What were your experiences in the seminary? Like you said you love Jesus. Did you love Jesus when you got to the seminary, or you
Well,
found to you love Jesus after or before, or has it always been a continuum?
yeah. I will still talk about this particular question under a different heading. I have a couple of bullet points, but honestly, I want to say very importantly, I know you'll be shocked, but let me say it. I will still highlight it. The seminary will not make you spiritual. Now, I was spiritual. I had a relation. See, Christianity is literally a relationship with Jesus. It's not a religion. And I already had that relationship with Jesus before I came into the seminary. So I'd say the seminary provides you the space to build on what you have. It's like what St. Thomas Aquinas will say. It's a grace builds on nature.
Mhm.
Put it in layman terms. If you not get them before, you not get them. But it's not as if there is no quote unquote hope for you not to make it spiritually. But as we go, you understand why I have my reservations about if you were spiritual before you came or spiritual when you entered. So yes, I already had a robust relationship with Jesus before I entered the seminary. My family is practicing staunch Roman Catholic. You know, the kind of family you grow and your father finds joy in praying 20 decades of the rosary every Saturday and everybody has to join. That's the kind of family I came from. Yeah. So yeah, spiritually I had that. Now, in the seminary, it was a bitter-sweet experience.
Yeah.
Bittersweet in the sense that I be street guy, you get. I be street guy. So it's not like I came from the minor seminary into the major seminary. I was living a whole different life. I used to be like a professional barber. I used to have shops, and so yeah, I was pretty much doing fine for myself. And then all of a sudden one day I said, okay, let's go and follow Jesus full time. And then it happened. So it was, to a large extent, it was difficult to adapt at first because one, they want to correct how you walk. I used to walk a certain way, this guy, they bounce one kind. They want
Yeah.
to correct. There's a lot of things they need to correct. Your talking manners, how you eat. I'm like, and in my head, oftentimes, I should be this one, because there is still this idea that I used to rule my life. I used to control my life. But now I have to listen to this person telling me what to do. So yes, that was one of the things I had to come to terms with. It's not easy. It's not easy. Uh, as one of our brothers used to preach, making your will malleable to formation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. So yeah, in that regard, it used to be bitter, sweet, and honestly, I had a lot of friction with formators, because me, I'm a vocal person. No press me for neck, I will tell you. And I didn't learn on time that you shouldn't do that. Please, as much as you can, listen and learn. Uh, you can be yourself, but I wouldn't say pretend, but you can do it only at your own risk. If you want to be a priest, uh, quote unquote, please listen. If you want to be a priest, you cannot literally be yourself. Now, door they wait for you. It's dangerous, and I unfortunately I used to do that. Like so, and I thought it was a good thing. I thought good intentions. I'm showing you who I am, so that you will not reach ordination, and then you are seeing a different person after ordination. This is what I used to think. So I used to put that. I used to put myself out in the space very clearly, and it looked like maybe a lot of brothers did not know this, but I was. You will see me like a rebel. If you say something that it does not make sense, uh, excuse me, father, this thing you say, this thing, I used to do that like in forums, and it didn't used to make sense. So yeah, it,
Yeah.
it, it got me into a lot of problems. So let me give you some instances. Like I said before, I used to play the piano, and I can tell you that's one of the things that got me into a lot of trouble, because I play the piano and I kind of dance when I play on it. I move a lot, and
Yeah.
literally, my rector did not like that. On several occasions, he'd call me. You sit down inside, and he say, sit down, and he'll tell me, play. He said, don't move, don't move. It was hard, because what happens in my head, like I'm hearing beats and sounds, and they wanted to form that out as well. So it was hard in that regard to express myself musically.
Yeah.
And if you look at me, you will know, say, but God try. And I know they play trumpet, God try. So one other aspect that I really had a lot of problems in was, you know, with our other gender, the feminine gender. I would tell you for a fact that at some point people began to think that I'm an arrogant and proud person, but I don't think they understood the context it came from. And I hope a lot of people are listening, so that this is also like a forum to clarify certain things. There are times where I'd be in the community, let's say after mass. There's a kind of way you jam and play with the brothers. Play good music. People are happy, and they want
Yeah.
to hear. They want to talk to who was that brother who was playing the piano. That kind of a thing. And after mass, they
Yeah.
come, and I'm standing. I'm talking to this sister. I don't know, says director. They want to look me. You know, and the guy he will just call me to his room one time, and he'd be like, "Do you know why you are here?" And I'd be like, "Yo, anytime you ask that question, just know that you're not finished. Like, do you know why you are here?" And then he beats around the bush for a while, and then in the end, you realize that it's like it seems like you think you are here because of women. And I
Yeah.
remember one instance very clearly. I was talking to this sister under like a tree, and he drove past. He saw me, he slowed down, and he drove away. When he came back, I felt he couldn't wait to come back from where he went to. As soon as he came back, he called me to his room. And honestly, that was the day I decided never again. So, what I used to do then was after mass, I disappear, or you'd see me sitting down in a space where everybody can see me, but they cannot access. So that was the genesis of me sitting down. We used to have this we used to call it Sean Star Brother pitch. So I used to go and
Yeah.
sit down somewhere there so that everybody will see that I'm not talking to any girl. And unfortunately, a lot of people thought that I'm just arrogant. You don't like to talk to people. So that was
Yeah.
another context. Now the other thing there is like so let me now say very clearly that the way the seminary system is built, I will explain it in two ways because I have certain experiences. So, if you're entering the diocese, you have 1 year, what you call a spiritual year,
Hmm.
quote unquote. That is where you go in and you do all the whole spiritual vibing thing. Yeah. In Schoenstatt is the reverse. So you have your novitiate after, where you go and do the whole spiritual mende mende. Now here's the thing. This is the theory I came up with. Um, I'll give you a typical example. On a Monday, you wake up. Let's say you're a kind of person who wakes up early. You wake up at 5 a.m. You try to get set, do this, do that. You have to be at church. I mean, in chapel. Let's say around 6, because mass begins at 6:15, 6:15 a.m. So that's how your day begins. After mass, you rush to the shrine. Maybe if you are someone who still values your relationship with the Blessed Mother, you go to the shrine. The highest you can take is, let's say, 5 minutes. Because why? You want to go back and have breakfast. You have breakfast, you are hurrying to get your bags and get set. You go to join the bus. You go to school, and you are in school the whole day until around certain time. You come back for lunch. After lunch, if you're the kind of person who takes siesta, you have to take siesta. You have to rest. Otherwise, you have to go for games. After games, you come back. You have to take your shower. And before you settle down, it's time for Vespers. You have to go for Vespers. There's time for meditation. Barely, let's say, 20 minutes. After meditation, everybody goes for supper. You have supper until you have, let's say, an hour or something. God help you. You have a function like a storeman. Or so why I am showing people this dynamic. This is pretty much how most days are structured. Let's say, for instance, you don't have any function. You're not a storeman. You're not a choir master. Nothing. You're just a regular guy. This is how your program is going to be structured. Now, tell me, how do you build a spirituality on that kind of a program? It shock you, Abby. You that is listening to me, shock you. So this is essentially how it is. When I say the system is not built to grow you spiritually, the way you see, for instance, certain priests who are charismatic in nature, you don't learn that in the seminary.
Mm.
It's the reverse. So let's say, for instance, you are charismatically inclined and you're coming, and then you want to show yourself. I will tell you in truth, you'll get into a lot of trouble. And you can see that this is not a hidden secret. Only that you think the fight starts, for instance, when this charismatic priest became a priest, he starts a ministry, he's having issues with the bishop. It did not start as a priest, it has always been there. This is not the new thing. So if you come in and then you think you want to carve a niche for yourself, you'll go in front of Blessed Sacrament and you go and be crying. Yeah, play with fire. Cry in your room. Cry, cry in your room. Oh. And hopefully, and for me, I usually pray that you don't lose the fire. I don't see how you can suppress the fire for, let's say, 9 years, 10 years. I mean, it's difficult, but I'm going to advise you that yes, keep the fire, tone it down, otherwise you're. So yeah,
Yeah.
these are some of the challenges that the, I wouldn't call them challenges, the dynamics that I encountered while in the seminary. Now, I want to reiterate that I spent 8 years in the seminary. So again, what I'll be saying will be a tip of the iceberg. I cannot compress 8 years into the space that we have. So as much as I can, I will just drop this and elaborate as much as I can, and then
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
go from there.
Great. There's really something about how the seminary does support growth in spirituality or not. Remy J, right? Those
Yeah.
who have been to Shonta, they know Remy J. This guy grew up as a charismatic from his family, came to Schoenstatt. He was always like he was being misunderstood. I found the guy very attractive. Like I wanted to learn that. I wanted to grow in that way. I followed him to Bodija one time for charismatic meeting. And I don't know how the rector got to know. He called me and was like, if you want to remain here. Yeah, and to be honest, I'm just trying to put things in perspective because somebody has spoken from the perspective of formators. Maybe they think that you are going to these things with different intentions. Maybe they think that you just want to do boo boo yeah yeah and make money. But I think there should be other ways to have conversations with, seminarians who express this desire to learn more about spirituality, to be able to, just know, because take it or leave it, there is not just the pastoral ministry in the parish without some spiritual elements. People experience a lot of things that even if they are not really true. For instance, somebody comes to tell you that there is something hitting on their wall at the midnight and they cannot sleep. You can tell them they're having malaria, but is there something else you can like accommodate, share with them that will help them? Something about not fearing because they are children of God. I know something from a spiritual depth. So when formators do not encourage that, maybe because they have good reasons, I wonder if they can also see reasons to, be balanced about it. Why do you want to learn this? Why do you want to go this way? Yeah, thank you for that. How was your experience when you left or leading up to leaving the seminary? Was it some people just decide and leave, some people just have different, roundabouts. How was it for you? And then after that we'll be getting to things like what are recommendations you have for ex-seminarians. But for now, how was your experience leading to leaving the seminary and all that?
Yeah. Well, um, the I thought I had these points in order, but thinking about it, I realized that there are many facets. Now, firstly, it was very, very clear to me that when I came into the seminary, I was coming to become a priest.
Hmm.
There were no two ways. My narrow, straight, laser focused vision. So it was clear to me. And I came here with this, pious, you know, quote unquote, naive, childlike belief that, you know, it was black and white. But when I got in, there were many things based on principle. As I like to see myself as a person who acts based on principle that I as a person could not do. And these things they started to fuel a lot of uh friction within me. I'll give you for instance. So you see, there are times where, for instance, we go to a parish to serve pastoral work or apostolic work, and often obviously you have to sit on the altar.
Yeah.
I can tell you that was like one of the hardest experiences for me, sitting on the altar. Why? Especially during, let's say, Harvest and Bazaar context, for instance. I know for a fact how this. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible. I know the context in which a lot of these things are are structured. For instance, you walk in a parish, you look around, there is no project. Why are you people doing Harvest and Bazaar? But there is, it's clear there is no need for this money, but yet they will go out of their way to call a priest whose intention for preaching is to make sure that people bring money. And I know this. Namigo count the money now. I know this for the fact. So how do you expect me to sit down on the altar comfortably, knowing fully well that people are being preached to because of the money that they will offer? And I used to ask myself, can you ever do this one day? I know if you do them. I know they lie to myself. I know they like to lie to people. Like I said, I was a workman, so I like the idea of working for my money. Felix say harvest preachers. I like the idea of working for my money. I know if scam you for your money. So that awareness, honestly, I used to feel very suffocated. So oftentimes I used to like when those things start, I used to just leave the altar and just go and sit down, let's say in the sacristy, or just go and wonder about. And any priest who saw that was like, this guy, you don't have a calling, you don't like being on the altar. How do I want to tell this guy that, oh, this thing you are doing is what is bothering me? I used to have like, I wouldn't call it, it was not getting close to a crisis of faith. It
Mm.
was not getting close to a crisis of faith. I used to have. That was like one of the first things. Now, however, I want to tell the story. backwards of what now blew everything out of proportion. So one day, after novitiate and all that, I'm in our house, the philosophy house, the study house, excuse me, and I receive a call from someone that is very, very dear to me, very dear to my family. And he said, after, in the context of our talking, he said, so and so priest sexually abused me.
Wow.
And that it tore my spirit in a way that I cannot explain. When you hear these things on TV, it's like it's far day until it happens to you. So I sat down. We have a hall in Schoenstatt. So I sat down in front there, and I was just lost in thought. I couldn't like it was beyond rage because I was blaming myself that this priest had access to this person because of me. So I was blaming myself, and at the same point, I was just wishing I could just hold this priest in my hand and just rip him apart. You know. So, but and in that moment where I was lost in thought, my rector walked by. He like no, I think he was driving. No, he walked by actually, like going to like what we call the wayside shrine, and he saw me. But I noticed that I saw him, but there's a kind of way my thoughts were clouded. So I didn't even care, self. I was just there thinking. So a couple of weeks later, after our exam, he called me and he asked me a question. He said, "Are you happy here?" Being a philosopher now, I said, philosopher theologian. I was like, "Father, what do you mean by happiness?" And he said, "You know what I mean by happiness. Don't play that game with me." And I said, "Well," I said, "Yes." I said, "Well, I'm happy." And he said, "It's not true." So he said, I should go back and think. So I went back, thought, came back another time. And I said, "Oh, was it because you saw me here that day?" This, so I told him, this is the context of what happened. This is the call that I got. But it didn't make much sense to him. He still thought that I was not happy. But how did I come to know this priest? Now I walked in as much as possible. The point of this is not to bring down any diocese. So as much as possible, I'm not going to I'm not going to be as specific as possible. The point is to learn, to teach others to learn. So let's protect people's identities of dioceses and all that. How did I
Yeah.
know this priest, this abuser priest in court? I worked in a certain diocese at some point in my seminary formation. And this priest is the kind of priest that everybody likes. If this guy do expo-
Can I add a context to that? So, for those who do not know, if you are a seminarian in Schoenstatt, you don't just work in a particular diocese. That's like for every religious congregation, they don't send you within a diocese. We will have chance to go almost around Nigeria. So, as seminarians of Schoenstatt, we were always sent to different dioceses. I personally had an opportunity to work in 5 dioceses in Nigeria. So that's why he's saying that he worked in a particular diocese. Okay, thank you.
yeah. So like I was saying, this priest is the kind of priest that everybody in the parish likes. He's unique. When I mean he's unique. If this guy exposed Blessed Sacrament and start to cry in front of Jesus, try. You will doubt, you will doubt your you will doubt if you ever loved Jesus. And I respected him for that. But I'm going to tell you this, that for some reason, my spirit did not align with this guy. And I did not know why. But I'm a guarded person. I kept certain kind of guard. Unfortunately, I lost that guard. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it happened. So much so that there are times that this guy could come to my room and he knows that I'm trying to get dressed. Like when I say get dressed, like put on boxers, not like just put on sutan. He knows. And I don't know how to tell this guy, please excuse me now, let me dress. And he knows. So he's not like, It's not dress you want to dress. Dress now, we are brothers. And I'm like, huh? I never dressed for front of another man before. So when he says something like, ah, we are brothers now, I'm like, ah, we are brothers now. You go DJ the dress. You don't know, say somebody they is fantasizing about you. You don't know. At that point, I never knew. He used to do things like, let's say he wants to like say greet me and say good night. This guy he will hug you for a very long time. Nah, which kind of hugging be this one? Like man go hug you. I say good night now. You know that kind of a thing. I used to have the. It did not click to. It did not come to my head. It did. It never clicked until one time, one night. And this is a very vulnerable state for me, but regardless, let's share it. Let's be sharing it. One night, I'm in my room. This guy comes to my room, and this day, for some reason, in my own room, I was sitting down on the floor on the tiles. So he comes into my room, and he goes straight to my own bed, the bed that I used to sleep on, as in my own bed, and he lies down on my bed, and he says, "Come and lie down now." See, in my own room. I should come and lie down on the bed. As how? So I'm sitting down on the tiles, and it's like there's a weight on my shoulders, literally, that is preventing me from getting up. And I just told him no. He said, "Come and lie down the bed now." I said no. You know, man, he asked me that thing 3 times. So I'm not coming, no. I'm not lying down on any bed. Eventually, he stood up from the bed. I had 2 chairs in my room. So one for me and one in case anybody came. So this guy goes, he sits now on one of the chairs. And he said, okay, at least come and sit down. Because in his head, he was like, you look like something is troubling you. I said, nothing is troubling me. He said, come and sit down. So I said, okay, let peace reign. I went and I sat down on the chair. It didn't take up to like couple of minutes. This guy start to they press my penis. No verse, I beg. If you are getting vogue, if it's heavy for you, go and drink water. Hmm? This now when that started, it was like I was in a state of shock. It's like there's no vocabulary. It's like a boy who has nocturnal emission for the first time. You know, there is no word, you cannot explain it. So it's not like I couldn't move. This guy just did they play with another man penis, and I was like, what is happening? I just like I couldn't explain, bro. I no fear explain. In my head, I don't know how long that took. Honestly, I don't know. But all I just heard was, I am sorry. And then he left. I just sat down there. I didn't even know what I was feeling. In my head, though, I thought that was the end. In my head, I thought that was the end. I struggled. Like, I couldn't think. But I know that I didn't sleep that night because I was just lying down. I was just lying down on my bed because I never understand. I never feel process what happened. Guess what? In the morning, somewhere around after 5, this guy came to my room again. No, he knocked. Me, I know they sleep. They always lock down. So he came. I didn't know who would be knocking on my door around 5. So I opened the door, and this guy comes into my room. Senior man is erect in his pajamas. This guy is, when you say man like he wants to go on, this guy is erect. And I walked backwards. And this time, like it was like a scale fell from I was like, I knew in my heart that I was going to beat this man of God today. I knew, I was certain. So he noticed my stance, and then he looks at me, and then he carries 5,000 naira and puts on my table, and then he left. I couldn't I couldn't look at that guy's face again. Like I couldn't walk around the. I no feel walk around. It was like there was a shame. There was a shame that was covering me that I could not explain. It was guilt. It was many things. I couldn't explain it. Anyway, long story short, that was how I knew. That was how I came to know this guy. So there is no way to explain to somebody that this is what is pressing your conscience. You know, there was no way to say it. And the truth is, I carried this pain for a long time, and it was weighing down on me. So one of these days, we are in the novitiate. So this happened. We went to the novitiate. We were having a discussion about, you know, this is not a peculiar thing. Please they with the abuse people, you know. So we are discussing this thing in this context, and this memory that I've been suppressing since it just came flashing, and it became like instantly clear. I needed to do something. I needed to make a call to check on the people that were dear to me that this guy had access to. So I went and I met our novice master. I said, Father, I need to make a call urgently. He said, why? I said, this is my suspicion. I know somebody who has this tendency, blah, blah, blah. I never told him that I already had an experience. This guy said, there's no need, don't worry, Kini. I remember I begged this guy. I said, Father, I need to make a call. He refused to give me the phone. Now, the thing is, in novitiate, when you want to start a novitiate, you have to give your phone, blah, you cut yourself off from the world. Mark, you people should look at my eye. It's not as if we cannot break, I couldn't have broken that rule. It was just respect, the principle of respect for the rule. That's why I didn't like go and look for somewhere to make the phone call.
One more context. We I was in the novitiate with Oche, myself, and Benedict Omeje were the only people that did not use phone. I will say it for free. Continue. Oh
Yeah.
no,
So
I'm Benjamin. I'm Benjamin. Yes.
yeah. Yeah. So I remember. So I just left the matter. I just let the matter die. Now fast forward till after novitiate. That's the context where that guy called me and told me this priest abused me. So everything just muddled up in my head. So I was like, oh, so my suspicions were right. If I had made that call, I would have saved this guy. So I was angry. I was pained. Like I was nah, there are no words. So what did I do? I just simply this now let me quickly backtrack something. A lot of people you don't understand. Another point of iceberg is if you knew the kinds of forces that team up to bring down God's good work. Now you will know that if you know chop well, if you know hold Jesus with two hands, you're not supposed to go seminary. I'll give you two instances and why I think it's a problem. There are people who occupy spaces that they should not be in. For instance, the space of a spiritual director. I think you need to have eyes to see before you fill the space of a spiritual director. There were times in the seminary, twice this happened to me, twice. I was sleeping and then I wake up. Behind my leg, I'm a very hairy person. Behind my leg, there was, it's like somebody used, let's say, a shaving stick to shave a circular shape. That is, they scraped my hair in circular shape on my right and left leg. The same, the same shape, no mistakes about it. And I woke up in the morning and I like, what happened? See, let me tell you, I locked my door with my key. Nobody in that house could have entered that room because there is only one key to my room. And I say, I was afraid. I go and meet and I say, bros, father, See what happened to me. Oh. Guys, it's nothing. It's nothing. See, this thing that I'm looking at like this is nothing. Ah, Jesus. I prayed. The only way that I knew how to, I pray. I say, God, I beg. Guess what? It happened a second time. The same spot. I say, Jesus, I don't enter today. It's not as if when you become aware of certain principles, but devil strong. Oh. You see, towards the end of my philosophy days, I'm for dying from nowhere. I just had tuberculosis. I say, me like this. I don't they die, they go. Why I'm bringing this up is to let you see that the seminary is not a place that you just wake up and just go with ignorance and naivety. Those are not tools that you need. You cannot be ignorant. You cannot be naive, both spiritually and both physically. If you want to go, you have to realize that this is going to be a war that is not won by flesh and blood. You have to soak yourself in the spirit. Baba, if you know they pray, no play because you will learn. I dey tell you, say, bros, I don't they die, they go. I remember those times, Father Remy, now Father Remy J, and this guy, Father Dansuma, they came to my room. They pray. Father Dansuma told me, say, guy, pray. I say, Father, how I want to pray? I I remember that it was so deep that even my mother had a dream about that thing, and she called me. I told her, it's just a dream that nothing happened. They die, they go. I tell my mother, say nothing happened. My mother say, I don't want to tell her. If my mother dreams and calls you, that woman is something that she don't see her. And she told me she should be praying, So these things put together, so they already they turned me upside down. So when I was in that room with my rector, he explained to me. Now he didn't know. So he thought that what he saw as sadness around me was that I had not overcome traumas from losing my father at an early age. He said it was I said, so you think that me in this way now that I've not overcome trauma of losing my father at an early age? He said that was it. And if he leaves me in the seminary to continue, that the trauma will not allow me to function properly. I said, okay. So he gave me two options. He said, you can either continue and finish your theology, or you can decide to leave now. Anyway, there were other things that you have said. But I was just looking at this guy and okay. I left this room that day. I just went to my room. I just go type letter. I typed the letter, left it there. And I went to the front of the shrine of our Blessed Mother, Thrice Admirable. I didn't kneel down that day. I don't know if you forget that day. I didn't kneel down. I was just looking at. I did not even enter inside. I didn't enter the shrine. I just stood there and I was looking. I was looking at our Blessed Mother. I looked at her for a while. And I asked myself two questions when I was standing there. Freedom or security? Freedom or security? Now, a lot of people may deny it, but the seminary provides you a certain level of security. So there is no way you'll be in the seminary and become a priest that you have like problem for jobs. You don't have a need to work per se, but you are going to get fed, you are going to get allowance, or whatever. You are going to get a car. You will be catered for. And a lot of people, when I told any person that I'm going to leave, I'm planning to leave the seminary, like, you don't deny now. What's the point? See, they didn't understand. So when I was in front of that shrine, I asked myself that question: freedom for security? And I think that's a question that a lot of people who are in the seminary today and who are planning to go in need to ask themselves. Freedom comes with responsibility, and I think that's what a lot of people are scared of. Once you choose to be free, this is how I see it these days. It's like a canvas, and you have to write on top of it. Some people would rather have people write for them so they can follow. People don't, a lot of people don't want to decide how their life should be. So they rather stay in the comfort that a secured system already provides, a system provides. So if I do this, I'm going to get this and get that. People like patterns, patterns they can they're already familiar with, at least they can guess. And the truth is that is what robs people off of life, you know. It steals life away from you. So well, long short, long story short, what I decided in my heart was, okay, freedom. I cannot take this anymore. I cannot stay here and every time somebody there was a time it was so bad. And I wanted to use the term creative tension. This is another thing that really that twisted my head when I was in the seminary. There was a time one of my one of the elder brothers brought my attention to something. He said, "You see, this rector doesn't like you. You should think twice." So what I did then was, what is the problem? I shave. Wahala still continue. Barb low cut. Wahala still continue. Are they talking in? Wahala still continue. One, I was just fed up with it. I went to meet the guy. I said, Father, I want to ask you a question. After lunch that day, we had these umbrella trees, and I asked him, I said, Father, I will not take too much of your time. Based on this, I want to ask you, please tell me plainly, do you want me in this seminary or not? So that I can know and live. And he laughed. And he said, that what he's been doing is creative tension with my life. My own life, you are doing creative tension. Me. Oh, Jesus. You will not understand. Like, you wake up and every day somebody is stressing you mentally, and they call it creative tension. They don't embarrass you before for public. Now imagine that is a way of life, like something that somebody can come and tell you. He could stay from like 5 yards away and he's shouting so that everybody can see you, and all you wish is that you can enter the ground. They don't do that kind of thing before, and it's a way of life. You have to experience this year in, year out. And somebody just creative tension. Me, anyway, no problem. We have survived it. We move. But honestly, those days they twisted. So anyway, so at that point where I was given a choice, let it be very clear. I was given a choice. I was not expelled. Let it be very, very clear. At that point, I just gently went to my room. I wrote my letter. I package the thing is, since you have already gone to the novitiate, you're a member of the community, we'll have like an official dress, a young tunic, I have official documents. My package everything, carry on. I say, Father, thank you. And that was the end of a journey for me in 2021. That was it though. We don't drop pen. We don't work at it,
There is so much that we may need to unpack here. Honestly, there is issues of abuse. But I want to highlight, like, I think from everyone I've talked with from Schoenstatt and from my own experience, there is something that we enjoy in Schoenstatt, which is communication with formators. Our brothers in other places, dioceses, they know fit. It's like it's a very big opportunity to even have a conversation with formators, and we could do that freely because we eat with them. Like I said, sometimes when we started newly in our year one, formators will come wash plates with you, but over time it stopped. But like there was that closeness. We'll eat together, we'll go for games together. We community gatherings, people laugh, people dance. So there was so much about conversation, communication, dialogue with formators, whether it was done rightly, whether people were taken care of, mentally and emotionally, is a different conversation. But I just want to lift that up. That was something we enjoyed. That's something we hope that other seminaries emulate, like have conversations with formandees, so that they know what's going on in their formation journey. And then Fathers Dansuma and Raymond, or Remy J, these people are on Facebook. If you I type their name there, just because we want to continue to appreciate those who are doing very well. These guys were not priests at the time that Augustine is talking about. They were still seminarians studying theology. But these two guys were fully devoted in their prayer life. They were fully devoted in building their spirituality, in harnessing the gift that they feel God has given them. And you can see, like, I've never told the story of how and why I resigned. Dansuma told me when we were praying together. I just went to see him, and I was having a lot of cloud in my head. And he was a deacon. We held hands, and then we were praying. And after prayer, I said, "Fortune, you're not here anymore." My God. Dansuma is alive. He's I think he's in Burundi now,
It's in
right?
Burundi. Yeah.
Yes. He was just ordained a deacon. I went to his room. We used to pray together. We used to go to the Polytechnic and pray in the lawn tennis court. Him, myself, and Father Raymond. So we held hands and we were praying. After he prayed, he opened hands and said, "Fortune, you're not here anymore."
Yeah.
And that's how I knew, it was one of those things that formed my courage to just leave, even though leaving was not easy for me. But yeah, so I've never told my story of leaving. I would tell it one day, but man, I think I would rather write like 2 volumes of books on that. So I want to lift up that communication. I want to lift up the fact that these are brothers tried against all odds. It was not easy for them. There was battle from their classmates, there was battle from the formators. In fact, two of them, it was almost as if they did not want to ordain them. What was their offense? They want to build their spirituality. They want to be able to harness what they sense as a gift of God in their life. And this is shouting out to them, shouting out to all seminarians who feel the genuine need to be able to respond to the need of the people of God by building their spirituality, by making themselves ready, not just academically, morally, but also spiritually, to help the people of God, to help them reduce their fears, because this battle is real. There is a lot happening in the spiritual realm for those who want to serve God, and generally for everyone. John chapter 10 verse 10 says, hello. I don't know what happened. I was cut off, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm glad that we could restore it immediately. So, there's a lot about these things, and I just wanted to lift them up. Then the issue of abuse. I know that you did your due diligence to be discreet, not to lift up the name of this person or the diocese, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. But there's so much that we can talk about there. There's so much. What do you want to say to people who are sending their children or forcing their children or coercing their children or their brothers or their relatives to remain in seminary without knowing the experience of these seminarians?
Now, firstly, I want to say I don't have any business with those people. Me, I'm a renegade. I don't have any business with those people. I've come to the point that I've realized that life, your life is yours to live. It is your own. So why are you waiting for somebody's permission to do what you know is good and healthy for your mental, spiritual, and physical well-being. Honestly, like you are in a, I know it's not, believe me, it's not easily practiced the way I say it. It takes courage, especially if you are the kind of person whose entire resources, let's say where you live, uh, your only niche is your family. It's going to be hard, you know. But I want to encourage you to to take courage. Be courageous and save yourself. That is one thing I'm going to tell you at first. But because it's important that people are educated, I want to tell you people something. You are forcing someone to remain in a place where they are telling you, not in explicit terms. It's not easy to the way I'm speaking. If I tell you how my heart is beating, it was hard. It's been 3 years. It's taking me 3 years to process what I'm telling you now. Even when I was seeing psychologists and all, I couldn't say this thing. So that person may not be able to tell you in plain terms why they want to leave.
Yeah.
If they want to leave, please support them and let them leave the seminary in one piece. You don't want a broken You don't want somebody who is broken from the seminary. They cannot fit into the society. They cannot fit into the seminary. You don't know how sad that is. That person is alone in the most literal sense of the word. So I'm going to beg, please support whoever says, I've had enough, I want to leave. Maybe if God gives them the courage in the future, you will know exactly why. But nobody, or oftentimes people who have certain kind of experiences cannot really just pour it out like that. So please, please help them. That's all I can say in that regard.
Good. Um. Wow. I don't want to. I'm not after anybody who abuse anybody. Let them hear this. Let them learn. Let them teach themselves. We are not here to really fight the church. The only person I would drag if a seminarian comes to me now, comes to my platform and says I was expelled. I was not told why. There was no conversation. I would drag the people that expel him for free. I would drag them, and the way I would drag them is not like being insensitive. I would reach out to them. I would do all I have to do, all the due process, and if they don't respond to this person to uplift his human dignity, I will drag them for free. I don't care about that. But this person that abused you, I know there are so many cases of abuse, and nobody has been talking about it. I don't really want to go there. When I have time, we'll talk more about clericalism, because all of this is just covered in clericalism. This person is higher up and you're lower down. So even when they have the chance to abuse you, you are privileged, and then they give you 5K. You are in good shape. You're well taken care of with 5K. With 5K, and your mental health is gone. If not that you had a lot of opportunity to do therapy, to talk to people. I know you've told me these things. I mean, a lot of people are messed up because once you are abused, you begin to feel like a victim. You begin to feel like there's something wrong with you. But why me? Do I not look man enough? Like, what is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with anybody who has been abused. See yourself as the victor. Your abuser is the victim. And I hope that anybody who has been abused, who is watching this, can find some therapy, some psychological help. And if you have been abused and you can't find it, reach out to me. I know some people that I can connect you with, and they send you to where you can, find therapy, find help, get healing. That's so important. Let's leave fighting the abusers for now. God will do that and in the right time. I'm not after that project right now. Okay, so what do you have to say to seminarians? Oh, I think I've asked you that. But okay, are there other thoughts you have? We are getting close to 1 hour. Are there other thoughts you have? General thoughts, like concluding thoughts that you have? And if anybody wants to join us live and say hello, I see all of my guys: Justice, Emezom, Vincent, Reginald Uzogara. Reginald, put your picture in your Facebook. Let us see you. Put your picture. Reginald Uzogara, put your picture there. Let's see you. Felizo Baba, our Jagaban here in the US. Noel Ifani Alumona, thank you for your comment. Agnes Idoko, thank you. Agnes Idoko is your sister, Oche. She said she was hailing you for coming up.
Mm.
Isaiah, Terry, Chris, Okolie. I can only see comments of those who have left comments. I can only see names of those who have left comments. So I can't go through all of them for now, but I want to thank all of you for joining, and I want to thank you for your comments. I think someone has a question for you. Let me look for that. Um, I thought a question. Okay, yeah, this is it. So let's look at this question, and then um, you can give us some of your last thoughts. What advice would you give someone who just left seminary life and life itself has been so difficult, most especially in the case of abandoning the church and seeing it as scam?
Who is going to answer? Your name is there now, son of big God. Answer.
Oh, we have guests. We're asking our guests. Today that we have guests now, you're asking me, ask guests. Guests, please help me out.
Well, let's save time. I'll say this from my own experience. Yeah, life is hard. There are two things here. Life is hard, and it's like you're abandoning the church. Let's go backwards very quickly. Somebody say, has Oche left the seminary? People ask funny questions. Anyway, I will answer later. I'm coming. Now, very quickly, there is there are two questions. The person is talking about leaving the church. Okay, like I said from the beginning, if you already have a relationship with Jesus before you enter the seminary, that is going to be your sure foundation when you leave it. I'll say that again. Hey, Auntie Monica, thank you for your encouragement. Thank you so much. See, if you don't have a relationship with Jesus, even while you are in the seminary, when you leave, you will have every reason to want to fight with everybody. So what I'm going to beg is learn now. And I'm going to say this, I know they mix words. You may not find that relationship in the Catholic Church. See, Jesus as truth is not confined and constrained to the Catholic Church. This is Vatican I thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, even the church itself has grown out of that. If you don't know and you are holding on to Vatican I, you get into trouble. Jesus as truth is not confined to the Catholic Church. If you find him in Sphere of Life Church, I'm saying Sphere of Life because I like senior man Femi Lazarus. I listen to him very, very much. If you find Jesus there and you can build a relationship, go. Which one is you left the church? You left the church, you did not leave Jesus. Find Jesus. I'm telling you now. You that this question. Find Jesus. Don't allow me verse for you. Find Jesus. Now, the second thing, you say life is hard. Ah, bro. Ah, I did not even have the courage to complain. See, when you leave the seminary, the shroud, that thing, that glory, it leaves you. The way people close doors on your face. Ah, brother, the pain is different. Let me explain to you. When I left the seminary, I immediately had to enroll into NYSC, and I think our brother Fortune did that too. I went to Isemore Ekiti. That was where I camped. My guy, I redeployed and went to Lagos. Let me tell you in simple terms. For 5 months, I had a yoga mat. Yoga mat, I'm 6'4". Yoga mat is like, let's say 5 foot something. I bought that mat with the money that my classmates contributed that time when I was sick. I bought it because that's what I used to lie down on the ground. I couldn't lie down on the bed anymore. So I had that blue yoga mat. For 5 months, bros, I was lying down on that yoga mat on the tiles. And if you are lying down, I'm only telling you this is so that you will not say, I'm not comparing suffering. I'm trying to tell you that I've walked that road. You don't lie down for tiles before. Like in Lagos, we were like 4 in the room. 1 4. Imagine somebody who used to be in the seminary. You are eating where you are doing the glory
Alone.
of God.
You always have your own room.
Alone, your own room, your own lane. Now you're not just sleeping with 4 people, you are sleeping on the for 5 months, bros. I was lying down on the tiles on my yoga mat. And you will wake up, you must wake up earlier, you want to beat traffic. And you must come back late now. You come back another kind. If you come back 8, you are early. You know, bros, let's not talk about suffering. Don't worry, suffering is normal, but it's going to usher you into a beautiful phase of life. I
Mm.
don't want to dwell so much. See, bros, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Just remain in relationship with Jesus. By the time he opens the door, yeah, brother, you will tell me later. But for now, the first thing, please go and find a relationship with Jesus. Suffering
Yeah.
is an illusion.
Yes. I would add to that that if you don't suffer in this process, then that is not genuine. I know somebody, a Mezwom, sorry to call your name. I didn't call your full name. So only those of us who know him know him. It was not so bad for him when he left. An uncle picked him up, just supported him, believed in his story, and pulled him up until he left Nigeria. So few people have that kind of experience. A lot of other people go through crucibles, go through very hard experiences because it's not easy. It's not easy. People don't believe in your story and you don't blame them. That's why we're doing these things so that people can begin to see seminarians and ex-seminarians differently, to see them as other people. People go to medical school and they choose not to become doctors again, and nobody crucifies them. But once you go to the seminary and you leave, or you're asked to leave, it seems like there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the guy. Help him if you see him. And I wanted to say something too about the comment you made about the Catholic Church. It is so true. In fact, I was in class yesterday. Those who do not know, I'm studying Catholic theology. I'm doing my master's in Catholic theology. My lecturer yesterday, a Jesuit priest, said that Jesus is the sacrament of God to the world, and the church is the sacrament. When we say sacrament here, we mean like the revelation or the embodiment. And the church is the sacrament of Jesus to the world, while the seven sacraments in the Catholic Church are the sacraments of Jesus to the people of God. Meanwhile, grace is not limited in this channel. So you can meet Jesus outside the Catholic Church, you can meet Jesus elsewhere. And we know that the Catholic Church is very institutionalized, the Catholic Church is very strict. If you don't already have that before, you may find it difficult to build it. And when you're even going out to build it, if you're not in a good place, somebody will be like, holy wedge. Or is he, like people will misunderstand you if you even go out of the line, like you want to really be so. Okay, I tell one story. Right now, I'm fasting in solidarity with Muslims. Okay, and there was an event in school 2 days ago. I went for this event. They had lunch, and one of my professors, world acclaimed professor on, I won't mention it because people will know, but this is a world acclaimed professor. She came to me and was like, Fortune, are you not having lunch? And I'm like, oh no, I'm fasting in solidarity with Muslims. She kept quiet. If I had told her that I'm fasting in Lent, she would be like, you don't understand our theology yet. So if you want to go hard, if you want to go hard to find your God in the Catholic Church, sometimes people may like, no, now don't do that. You don't have to really go that hard. The fasting doesn't mean you should not eat. You can also fast from not cursing people, which is true. But fast from food is hard, and that is where the discipline is. So I'm just putting this in out that find Jesus, find Jesus, find Jesus. Jesus does not care. Jesus does not care if you leave the church. For me, or for some of us who have found the truth in the Catholic faith, who love it, I will not leave it, but I pray with a lot of other people who are not Catholics. This is one of my big bosses, Jonathan Edwards. He is my boss. He is not a Catholic, but we pray together. We meet here in the US. If you go to my Instagram, you see one time I sang with him in the car. So that's how my life is. I'm not Catholic, just Catholic. I am Jesus. However, because of my 14 years in seminary, I've found that this faith is true. I love it, but I'm not limited to it. So just to add to Augustine's comment, please find Jesus, find that relationship. That is what you need. If you don't have it, it will be worse for you. If you don't have it, you cannot even start the journey of like navigating these challenges after you leave seminary. And virtually in every other field of life, if you don't have that relationship, man, I am sorry for you, but I hope that you find ways to find that relationship. So thank you. Do you have any final words? Does anyone want to say something? You can join us, or if there's nobody saying something, then we would end it after his last words.
Let me wrap up very quickly by saying, please understand that we come from a context, Nigeria, yeah, and Nigeria has a shaming culture for failure. If you are successful, you see a lot of people, the cloud, they're around you. If you fail, they will shame you, they drag you. And that is how I want to begin my closing remarks. See, you have to rise above the culture. Look at the social media today now. When Anthony Joshua lost his heavyweight, see how people dragged him. As soon as he beat Ngannou, everybody is saying he's Nigerian. And he came out to say, when I lost, it was the same Nigerians that dragged me. That is why I did not acknowledge them when I won. Please, Nigeria is a shaming. Now, I need you to understand that you did not fail because you left the seminary. Those are people's expectations on you. Remember, it's your life. It is your life. It is your goal. You set the goal. So ask yourself, why should I feel ashamed that I did not achieve a goal that I set for myself because people are laughing at me, because people are gossiping? Let them gossip now. Now, if you are not that bold, first thing, this is what I want to tell you. If you get into the seminary, please don't be snapping pictures and be posting on Facebook and WhatsApp any opportunity. Yeah, a philosophy one, no. Philosophy one, you're already putting pictures everywhere. Okay, when you leave, you now have to go and be explaining to everybody, I've left the seminary. It makes it harder for you to adapt. You're on holiday, you are going from parish to parish, parish to pontificate. You want to go and be climbing Altar Abbey? Don't worry. When you leave now, you will not be able to enter setting. You will not come out to enter bike, you'll be hiding your face. Why not? Just don't wear a chasuble before you become a priest. Be wearing your sultan and your surplice. If they call you father, remind them that you are a seminarian in formation. And that is what I want everybody, parents, to know. This is very important for me. If you are in the seminary, you are called. It does not mean you will be chosen. Please understand that there are two things. There are those who are called, there are those who are chosen. If you are in the seminary, you are called. But if you are not chosen for any reason, so probably you're expelled at some point, you leave, glory be to God. But let parents, let anyone who is going in, let anyone who is there know that you are there to discern if you are to become a priest. If it works out for you, glory be to God, that's where you're supposed to be. This needs to be very, very clear. Once somebody enters seminary, somebody enters seminary 1 month, the family, they don't already go buy a mass box. How? Say formation that will take 9 years. Are you normal? No, he's there to, and I think that is what hurts some people. They're like, we have already prepared now. We have somebody that is going to formation for it. Come on. So
Yeah.
that being said, I want to tell you, when you leave the seminary, please don't leave bitter. I'll tell you what I did. The Sundays preceding before I left, I played the piano. I'm what you call like a chief organist, whatever. But the Sundays in the months before I left, I took up singing praises during Thanksgiving and other things. Literally, I was singing God. Any people they they thought the fire came out. I said, "No lie, I cannot live here with my head bent. I live here with no bitterness." I was singing, and I enjoyed it. So if you want to leave, please don't leave bitter. First thing. Second thing, please, if you can, use your last card, go to therapy. I did not have the money. Somebody paid for me. Let me even call her name, Sister Sylvia Walaka. God bless that woman. She paid. See, let me pray Sean start in two regard. When I was leaving, one of the fathers canvassed for me, and they paid for a session, for a 1 month session for me to go to therapy. And he knew, he said, so that I can be able to adapt to society. Now, this is one advantage of being in Schoenstatt. You may not have this in a diocese setting. But if you can, or God, go to therapy. See, there are many things we go through in seminary. You know, when suffering becomes a lifestyle, you think it's normal. Suffering is not normal. There are many psychological inadequacies that you need to correct, because you cannot function properly in society. You'll be going and be doing philosophizing, but it does not work in reality. It doesn't work. You need to be reoriented. And I hope that as the future goes by, for me to learn the importance of helping brothers reintegrate into society. That's one thing I'm going to tell you. Now, the other thing I'd like to say is, please, what you need when you leave the seminary is not money. You need, well, let me call it connection. You need to form a circle. People, you cannot do it by yourself. So you need people who can, you need a circle around you, people who can, trust me, it's not money, people who can advise you. You have left, I come up from street, enter seminary. When I was leaving, I thought I still had it. But when I enter, I shock. You need people to say, this is how it's done now. This is how it's done. Don't do this, do like this. People who have been in the system. If you go about thinking it's money, I need money for this, bro, when they give you, even if it's 1 million, if they give it to you, you will not know what to do with it. You just spend it recklessly. Remember, they'll be giving you money since in the seminary now. You don't know how to work for it yet. So yes, you don't need money. You don't need it. You need people to advise you. But and so that I don't honestly, I don't know how the circle around me built, but I'm going to tell you that it's a vital thing to have. It's a vital thing to have a circle. And then, most importantly, have a survival instinct. Because any opportunity that comes to you, think about it as, this is the only one that I will get, and utilize it. When I mean survival instinct, my brother used to describe it like, how do I say it? He used to say, if you're in a desert and you've been walking for days and you see an helicopter and you know it's the only one that will save your life, you know you are thirsty and dehydrated, will you not run to that helicopter? It's the last one. You are thinking you don't have energy. Bros, it's your last, or any opportunity that comes. Survival instinct. Now, there's only one disadvantage though to having a survival instinct. It's what you call a coping mechanism. So it's not something you should have for the rest of your life. So you will need again some sort of reminder that, oh, you're in a good place now. You don't need to be a survivor. You know, you need to calm down. You have survived that stage. You know, that's. I mean, there are lots of things I would have told you, but most importantly, above all this, Oga, now you think you have been praying the seminary. Now you need more prayer. Now you go start a pray. Bros, oh my God. I like I like my days in NYC, especially in Ekiti. Ekiti is full of mountains, yeah. So if it is shame to pray, there are many mountains that you can go and climb. Baba, that there was one behind our house there. So I'll just wait for the select guys to finish that thing. By the time you climb that thing, Baba, if you no connect with Jesus, my bed. So about pray, or God pray. I will not. You will think people will help you. When this, let me share the secret with you. The people have reasons why they help seminarians. Yeah, maybe they think, oh, you become a priest, and then when you become father, now you come the later. You say, I came to see people. I mean, now this one, but now you did not become father. The way doors will close in your face. Human beings go shock you. God, bro, you don't beg before. And they will still tell you, like, I let me share one very funny experience. I had this friend. I knew he had money. I begged this guy. I was looking for money to travel. He told me clearly, he said, guy, see this money. I have it, but I will not give you because I have principles. Clear. I carry my phone, they look at, bro. I shock. So yes, doors will close in your face. But as doors, human doors close in your face, if you can find strength on your knees, heaven will open unto you. Baba, I no good. Baba, I be story of grace like this. For the past 1 year or so, I know they get any prayer point. I need that. Now, thank you, Jesus. Nothing. I know they are Jesus for anything. Now, thank you, Jesus. Material things not be waiting human being they brag of. I for tell you things, but forget that one. Forget that one. You know, it's I don't be like it hard though. It hard, but now and let me close by telling you why I finally accepted to do this and why I think therapy is necessary. So I was driving I think last 2 weeks Saturday, and all of a sudden I realized that I think I was listening. I can't remember which gospel artist I was listening to. This song just did something to my body, and I noticed a memory was coming up. And usually, what I've been doing was to suppress these memories, and I was suppressing the thing. I was trying to distract myself. Oh my, no work. Me, I not get gift of crying, bro. I did drive, I did cry. I was crying, and I started to tell myself, "It's fine. It is fine. It is well. You are well." What was that memory? There was a parish that I walked. This priest, I'm not sorry to say this. If demons see him, he go shout blood of Jesus. This guy makes what demons do a joke. Let me say, usually what happened there was he told me, you'll be eating on the table with us. I said, no problem. But what happens? I will come for supper. The food is set. Everything be all right. 7 p.m. Oga never come. 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. The food will be there. So, and I'll be standing because I have to stand. Hungry they were me, so I will leave. This was happening for days. Days turned into weeks. At the thing they go, I go, some people go say, brother, you enjoy, Which enjoy, Ken? This guy was tormenting me mentally. Food there, no the food, like it's like tantalizer. If you know the story of Tantalus, that was what it was. Like at the seafood, I know the feature pan. If you touch on you can enter trouble now. So what happened then was this is why I started to cry. I told one woman, let me call her name because that woman literally saved my life, Mrs. Izion. What happened was she then decided, because she knows this priest that this guy is Enya. She decided that every Sunday she will cook and she put them in Tupperwares. And then she will she go there inside church. She's like, she go cite me and she makes sure that I cite her so that she doesn't want to get into trouble. And then she will eye me. So I come out and then I go inside the parish through the fence. She go pass the food through fence. I go collect the food. See that food that she give me. Now that food I go dey chop during the week. I go dey have fun. Keep this side. I go supplement with bread and water. That was what I was eating in that house. House where una dey bring off at the yes, that one. Now that house I've been there live. Although I no see anyone, no. Me una know now. And why I cried was it was what psychologists call vicarious introspection for oneself. So I saw myself and I pitied myself. And in that moment, I was willing myself to live there. I was angry. I say, how can I be a prisoner like this? And I started to cry. Mind you, it's not like I stayed there 1 week, 2 weeks. Bro, I cried. And I said to myself, so you mean I went through this? But I thought I suppressed those emotions. And that is what a therapy is meant for. It helps you sift things. You may not believe it, but yeah, therapy helps. So that's what I want to use to close. I hope you learned something. I hope you learn more. And I hope you take nothing nothing for granted because ignorance, being naive, is going to break you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all those who have joined us from the beginning till now, or all those who came along the line. One word about therapy. We from Nigeria, we see this as a sign of weakness to go to therapy, and that's really wrong. I just imagine that I want to go from here to San Francisco. I stay in Berkeley, and I begin to pray, Lord, just transport me to San Francisco. But the human wisdom has produce something that will help me get there. Get a car, get an Uber, get on the bus, get on the train. So therapy is something like that. It's a discipline that has been harnessed by man to understand how the human mind works, how the human mind processes emotions and pains, and how to heal from that. So that's what therapy is. It is a discipline. It's a skill. It's just like medication, but this one is talking medication, doing medication. So for people from Nigeria, a lot of people have begun to see the good use of therapy. A lot of people have not. Therapy is good. It's not a sign of weakness. It's just the same way that people are told not to cry. Be a man. Be a man when you are going through stuff. Don't be a man. Cry. You know, process your emotions. That's where you begin to heal from. And this whole page is about processing these emotions. This whole page is about expressing these emotions. I'm taking a course in counseling psychology, but I'm not a therapist. So whatever I do here is just lifting up and like validating the need for therapy, validating the need for healing, validating the need for expression of pain, and in that way, some form of healing can begin to come. So thank you, my dear brother. I know you've been so diligent in being discreet. I know so much about what you shared here that you didn't share, but that speaks to the heart from which you share. That speaks to your reason for sharing. That it's not just to get some people down, but it's to put the word out there to make people see and to be better prepared to take decisions. And you see yourself, you're stronger by sharing this. It looks like I'm going
Facts.
to like the whole vulnerability thing will make you feel like, oh no, they will see me differently. No, you are a big man. Like, not in the thousands of people who have gone through this, not 10 can come out and share it. But you
Facts.
so thank you for putting it out there. Thank you for the courage. You are a blessing to a lot of people. You give courage, you give upliftment, and may God bless you for that. I want to end this the way I usually end uh the live shows. So you do your hands like this. I will say peace out.
Peace
Peace
out.
out. Thank you.